Well, hello, sillies, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt.
Ashley.
Ashley, what are we watching today?
107 facts from the Boondocks.
Yep.
Requested by you guys.
Because we saw the first 100 and so facts earlier today. We put that out.
Yep.
And that I learned some more stuff. And you guys taught us more stuff.
Of course.
And I just can't believe what these writers have put into the show. Like, the stuff that we never would have known without you guys. Never would have known without you guys. And shout out to this channel. This is the channel Frederator for putting these compilations together. So thank you so much to that channel.
Great job.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm excited to see what these facts are. So
yeah.
See what they're about.
Down 107 more facts about the Boondocks. Let's get started. The city of Woodcrest in which the show takes place was actually said to be in Maryland in the original comic. However, in the TV version, Woodcrest is in the state of Illinois. But fans theorize that the name Woodcrest is a combination of the two, based on the real-life Woodland, Maryland, which is a suburb of Baltimore, and Crestwood, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. A little about our main family. The Freemans live on...
You know, I've always loved Granddad's house.
Me too.
It's pretty.
It is.
Deer Lane, and Huey is just 10 years old, while Riley is only 8. In collaborating with anime studio Madhouse, creator Aaron Magruder claimed to...
Maybe it's me. You guys let me know. Doesn't he look like Pharrell in this picture? He looks
a little bit. I think it might be the angle and his hat.
And his hat. I think it's his hat and his
maybe the
have
hat.
Co-created a new system in order to capture the simultaneous Japanese influence animation style and Western comedic sensibility. Ultimately, Madhouse didn't fully work out, and a new animation style, closer to what Magruder had originally envisioned, was implemented into season 2, helmed by Carl Jones and Song-Gun Kim. Jones went on to produce Black Dynamite and also co-produced the
Black Dynamite.
Speaking of Black Dynamite, in case you're new here and you're not already subscribed, please do so. It helps us out a lot. And Black Dynamite is over at our Patreon page, the SillieVerse. So make sure you check the pinned comment and the link in the description for sure, because that show is funny. We just started.
I love that
season 2. We just started season 2, and it's a blast over there. So join us over there for season 4 of the Boondocks, Martin, Chappelle Show, all this fun stuff. We love it.
Campaign starring short Freaknik the Musical for Adult Swim during the time of Boondocks era. Kim previously worked in the animation world on Jackie Chan Adventures, Godzilla the Animated Series, and other shows you probably loved as a child. One example of character designs changing from season 1 to season 2 is Sarah Dubois' hairstyle going from straight to wavy. The animation process was still ongoing while...
Never noticed that.
I didn't even notice that.
I never noticed
How did I not notice that?
the show
Normally I'm pretty good about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're pretty good at little subtleties like that. But
that's
being written. So the creators had no idea what it would look like, even by the time they completed the script for the season's final episode. The series staff began work on season 2 immediately after season 1 concluded. Season 2 premiered 19 months after season 1. When seasons 1 and 2 first aired on TV, they were produced in widescreen, but cropped to a 4:3 aspect ratio when they aired. In order to keep topics on the show fresh, Magruder would choose topics that would always remain relevant.
So instead of like widescreen, like 1080p, like this, you know, it would be like with the black bars on the side. Yeah.
The snitching episode, for example, was written a year and a half before it premiered, but still felt topical by the time of its release. Magruder stated that he finds there's greater freedom in animation as a medium than in comic strips. One reason for the divergence of style between the comic and the show was that Magruder knew that jokes from the comics wouldn't always land when televised. Show villain Ed Runtzler's name is similar to, and probably a take on, the villain in Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, a faceless businessman who also symbolizes greed. Bank robber and war vet Jen Rupp.
Yeah, I believe somebody was saying that in one of our comments when we were doing the Boondocks that there was some relation. Yeah.
Never seen it.
Crazy, never would have connected those dots.
Rummy is meant to be a parody of George W. Bush's Secretary of State, Donald Rumsfeld. Rummy Rumsfeld? See?
Yeah.
Rummy is also said to be a nickname for Rumsfeld. Rummy is not just similar to Rumsfeld in name, though, but also in his love for guns and America. They even drive this point home by having him repeat versions of some of Rumsfeld's most famous quotes. Rummy's buddy Ed Runstler III has a big W around his neck, making him a parody of George W. Bush, who was often known as George W. or sometimes even W. He also makes jokes about being in Iraq and weapons of mass destruction, which are topics that the former president often discussed.
I would have never put two and two together.
Never. Yeah, that was another.
Both of them. I would have never.
That was another early on topic that they, educated us about.
A date with the health inspector, Rummy and Riley have a conversation that's pretty directly inspired by the famous scene in Pulp Fiction where Samuel L. Jackson's character is asking what Marcellus Wallace looks like. Jackson actually does the voice of Rummy. Rummy's dialogue continues to mimic Pulp Fiction's Jules throughout the series. For example, in Season 1's Let's Nab Oprah, Rummy's lines about technology resemble the exchange between Vincent and Jules in Pulp Fiction before they killed.
That's right. Remember the technology, how he kept talking about his Apple phone, and they kept going back and forth about his phone, what it can do, and this and that.
Oh,
and
the Bluetooth. It was the Bluetooth one, too.
Yeah.
And my bitches.
Yeah. It's so funny. Same kind of dumb back and forth.
Kill Brett. Ed Runstler the first and the third are principal characters. The middle Runstler doesn't actually appear until season 4. In that same episode, the what conversation in the car that Riley and Rummy have is almost word for word taken from Pulp Fiction. Guess there are some hardcore fans on the Boondocks staff. In a series-long running gag, starting with the show's first episode, anytime a character drinks orange juice, they note that it contains a full day supply of vitamin C, which is also Tropicana OJ's slogan. Huey is a self-described domestic terrorist. However, after Obama was elected president, he officially retired that title. The speech Huey gives at the opening of the show, in which he notes that Jesus was black, Ronald Reagan was the devil, and the government is lying about 9/11, was meant to represent someone the Awkwardness series creator Aaron Magruder felt as a guest speaker for the newspaper The Nation. Huey only smiles in 5 episodes. Seeing that there is 55 episodes, one smile per 11 episodes. In the
people told us that too, but wow, I didn't know it was that little. Only
I didn't
5?
either.
Wow.
Fall, it's revealed that Huey can speak Mandarin. Season 3's Bitches to Rags is the first episode of the series in which Huey has no spoken dialogue. Busta Rhymes is the voice of rapper Phenomenal. However, in Bitches to Rags, Phenomenal's voice was done by Kevin Michael Richardson. While Huey acts as the series narrator, the show flips the script about once per season, handing over narrative duties to Riley. In episodes like Season 1's The Story of Gangstalicious and Season 2's Shining, Magruder had the idea for Uncle Ruckus a few years before his first appearance in the original comic strip. He designed the character starting with drawing his huge right eye. The Ruckus name was inspired by Amos Rucker, an African-American veteran of the United Confederate who wanted to remain a slave after the Civil War ended. Canonically, Uncle Ruckus...
Okay. That really...
Whoa, that's a history lesson?
That's a history lesson and really explains Ruckus and how he feels.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
First name is Uncle, a name given to him in honor of his father's uncle. Carl Jones ended up on the show after seeing Magruder walking down Melrose Avenue in Los Angeles with a Boondocks comic strip t-shirt. He approached him and asked him to be on the show, which actually worked. Uncle Ruckus was created in the same vein as Archie Bunker, a character played more or less straight, but meant to parody a certain kind of conservative personality by way of exaggeration. Gary Anthony Williams has explained that his iconic voice for Uncle Ruckus came from, in his words, all the people that used to stop by and talk to my daddy when I was little. To promote the show's third season, Williams gave an interview in character to Vibe magazine, giving his opinion on George Bush, Barack Obama, Bill Cosby, and more. He also showed up in person and in character to the NAACP Image Awards.
Oh gosh. You haven't seen that video of him at the NAACP Awards, I don't think. Okay, yeah, we'll have to check that out.
His abusive father, Mr. Ruckus, was the main source of inspiration for the appearance of Samuel L. Jackson's character in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. So it all comes full.
People are saying we gotta see that too.
Yeah.
Full circle from Pulp Fiction to Boondocks to Django. In The Itis, Granddad says, don't nobody go in the bathroom for 45 to 35 minutes, which is similar to a line the voice actor John Witherspoon's character says in the movie Friday. Later on in the episode, the pastor Reverend Ruckus, Huey mentions Granddad watching the movie Friday. So technically, both Granddad and voice actor John Witherspoon exist in the Boondocks verse in some way. Trippy. Granddad's car is named Dorothy, which is a reference to a running joke that originated in the comic strip, that Granddad has a celebrity crush on 1940s actress Dorothy Dandridge. The season 1 episode, A Date with the Health Inspector, is the only episode in the series without an appearance from Granddad. Witherspoon claimed in an interview to be right in line with Granddad in his behavior at home.
I guess I didn't take notice that he wasn't in an episode.
Not being too dissimilar from his character. Witherspoon's nickname among some of the cast and crew was Spoons, which is a shortened version of his last name. Good thing they didn't call him Wither. In total, about 13 characters have been on the wrong end of Granddad's belt throughout the series. One is a kid getting beaten by his mom using Granddad's belt. Another example is a group of white supremacists, and he hits or binds 8 of them using his belt. Others include Riley, a pimp who was about to slap Crystal, Rufus, and Tom DeVos' body was possessed by Colonel H. Stinkmeaner. Huey may not count since he has been targeted but never hit. The episode
I was gonna say he was always
never
dodging it.
Which aired in 2006, flashes back to Granddad as a pilot in World War II. He was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen, an all-African-American group of Air Force pilots. In 2012, the film Red Tails was released in theaters about those same Air Force pilots, which was co-written by Magruder and produced by George Lucas. In the episode Or Die Trying, which features a fictional Soul Plane sequel, both Witherspoon and their Soul Plane role, alongside Snoop Dogg, who played Captain Mac in the original real-life movie. The movie theater in the episode Or Die Trying is actually modeled after a real movie theater in Los Angeles, the Grove Mall's Pacific Stadium 14 Theater. Jasmine's voice actor, Gabby Soleil, joined the show at just age 10. She has been an actress since age 6. Jasmine's voice actor also changed between season 3 and season 4. Soleil was replaced by Kiari Polis, whose only acting role to this day has been the voice of Jasmine. Smoking with Cigarettes, the episode of the Milton to Sean aired on June 6th and was the 6th episode.
We saw the actual like clip of it.
Yeah, we did.
Hilarious.
Yeah, if you guys are new here, we did review him, and that was too funny. You can find that in our library. And like I said, if you are new here, go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thank you so much.
Of the season, aka 666. This seems to have been intentional, given that the number of the devil is LaMilton's mugshot number in the episode, 0666. LaMilton Tashawn's delinquency was inspired by the real-life Latarian Milton, who stole his grandmother's SUV and attacked his grandma for not buying him fried chicken. Both incidents attributed to his fictional counterpart as well. The school that all the children in the show attend is named after J. Edgar Hoover, the controversial FBI director, most likely ironically. We won't get into Hoover now, but it's safe to say Magruder probably wasn't a fan. The voice actress behind the Freeman's conservative elder neighbor Betty Von Heusen is Marion Ross, famous for her role in the
they were sisters of the Second Amendment.
Yes.
70s as Marion in Happy Days. The episode The Itis is the only one in the series not to feature the N-word. The show's liberal use of the word caused more controversy in some media outlets. Despite its often vulgar and boundary-pushing content, the first episode to receive a TVMA rating wasn't until season 4. The character Dr. Doomis in the episode Smoking with Cigarettes is a reference to the character Dr. Loomis in the Halloween franchise. Dr. Doomis' voice actor, Tom Kane, provided the voice of Halloween's Dr. Loomis in Halloween H2O 20 years later. In the episode A Date with the Booty Warrior, Tom Kane is opposition to California's Proposition 8, which is a real California state constitutional amendment that banned same-sex marriages and was later overturned. Stinkmeaner Strikes Back.
We reviewed that too. The Booty Warrior.
Oh, yeah, we did.
The episode in which deceased season 1 villain Colonel H. Stinkmeaner returns as a ghost seems to be a Halloween episode of sorts. While it doesn't explicitly reference the holiday, this episode was aired in October. Stinkmeaner appears or is referenced in exactly 1 episode per season. In the episode Stinkmeaner 3, the character Rufus Crabmiser fights with a flying guillotine attack. This is a throwback to the 1976 movie Master of the Flying Guillotine, and even reuses a sound effect from the film. The hat worn by George Christopherson Orson, another member from the Hateocracy in Stink Meaner 3, is a reference to a character played by voice actor Jimmy Walker in the TV show Good Times, who was known for wearing the same hat.
no way.
There are more
Whoa.
references to Bruce Lee films throughout the Boondocks than we have time to mention in this video. But just know that
probably.
Magruder is
Yeah.
a Bruce Lee fan himself. And
Clearly.
had a poster of the martial arts master hanging in his apartment during the series development. Tell us your favorite Bruce Lee reference in the comments. Marlon Hill does the voice of Obama throughout the Boondocks series. Hill is a stand-up comic famous for his Obama impression, which he performed on radio and news shows. Shabazz K. Milton Berle, the wrongfully imprisoned death row inmate in the episode The Passion for the Reverend Ruckus, is based on Mumia Abu Jamal, a real-life death row inmate famously thought to be wrongfully imprisoned and eventually moved off of death row. Following Hurricane Katrina, Magruder wrote a series of comic strips about the aftermath of the natural disaster. An episode based on this comic saga appeared in season 2 called Invasion of the Katrinians. In
Yep.
Invasions of
Oh my gosh, where they just came in and
They
was
just
like,
came over.
this guy kept coming. He's like, when I get my
My
FEMA check, I'll
Yeah.
break you off a paper stack. Like,
He never got it.
oh no, he got it, but he got his check, but he never gave any to
Oh,
Granddad.
yeah.
of the Katrinians, Riley calls people from New Orleans grimy, referencing a 1999 Lil Wayne song, Grimy Work. Lil Wayne also guest stars in the episode as a relative of the Freemans. Winston Jerome, a character meant to be a spoof of Tyler Perry, sang a song called It's Alright to Cross-Dress for Christ. This parodies both Tyler Perry cross-dressing when he plays Medea and the cross-dressing episode of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. 2 episodes were pulled from broadcast, allegedly for mocking BET, but clips from those episodes were briefly leaked onto YouTube before being taken down. Original Boondocks producer and later BET president Reginald Hoodlin was a friend of Magruder's from college. Hoodlin's vision for the Boondocks was that it occupied a multimedia tradition incorporating its screen, comic book, and music influences. Before the Boondocks lampooned Hoodlin, Magruder and Hoodlin co-wrote a graphic novel entitled Birth of a Nation, in which a city in Illinois becomes the independent country Blackland. Ronald Reagan, who was vilified in the first line of the series, also appeared in the comics a few times, in which he was similarly maligned. A character resembling the Samurai Jin from one of the Boondocks' biggest anime influences, Samurai Champloo, appears in the episode Guess Hoes Coming to Dinner. In the episode,
Oh yes,
That was a good
yes,
one.
yes, that was a good one.
Oh, the trial of R. Kelly.
Oh yes, oh my goodness.
R. Kelly, the voice actor behind R. Kelly, is uncredited. Maybe he's trapped in the closet. The voice of R. Kelly's lawyer was famous TV Batman actor Adam West. This episode also featured someone in the crowd yelling Shoryuken, which is a reference to Street Fighter and the way Ryu and Ken yell Hadouken. As the show was being developed, rappers RZA and Ja Rule both auditioned to do voices on the show. Rapper and Pimp My Ride host Exhibit appears in a couple of episodes of the show.
Yeah.
Rapper Asheru, whose song Judo
Did not
Flip
know
was
that.
used in the series intro, was also responsible for its instrumental ending theme. A mixtape was released for each season of the show, including original songs written for the series, alongside existing songs licensed and used in the show. Some of the artists include Asheru, Nars Barkley, Common, Talib Kweli, The Roots, and more. Before working on the Boondocks, veteran voice director Andrea Romano had previously done voice directing work on SpongeBob, Justice League, DuckTales, and more. Romano would often apologize to then 12-year-old Gabby Soleil for the vulgar language she'd have to hear every day in the studio. However, Romano described Soleil as being 12 going on 37, as it didn't faze her at all and she was totally at peace with it.
I was gonna say, when we saw her doing the voices thing, she was like, "Yeah, they don't have me read the parts; they just blur it out or bleep it out." So she's like, "I don't even have to hear it. I just read my parts." So, like I said, she's 12 going on 37, like very mature girl.
Obviously.
Jill Talley, the voice actress of Sarah Dubois, was also frequently the voice of celebrity characters in the show, including Kelly Ripa and Maya Angelou. Voice actress Regina King, who does double duty as the show's main duo, claims that
She's
Riley is
awesome.
more fun to play, while Huey is more rewarding
Well,
due to his
obviously.
complex nature. Aw, sounds like something a parent would say about liking their kids the same amount. Sometimes King recorded the voices of Huey and Riley together, as if the conversations were happening between the two brothers in real time. IGN ranked the Boondocks as the 94th best animated series of all time. A Peabody was awarded to the Boondocks in 2007, honoring its episode Return of the King, in which Martin Luther King Jr. is resurrected. It was described as an especially daring episode. Time magazine
Yeah.
gave
Yeah.
the Boondocks another kind of distinction, a slot in its top 10 most controversial cartoons. When Sony initially bought the rights to the Boondocks, a feature film was part of the deal. It's unclear to what the exact deal was when it moved to Adult Swim, but seeing as there has not been a movie, it's likely that it's not part of that contract. When asked about his goal for the show, Magruder initially responded that it was simply to stay employed. Seems simple enough. He explained that
Right.
rather than try to create something
least
that
he's
makes
honest.
everyone happy,
Yeah.
he instead focused on continuing to make the thing he wanted to make. Magruder is a huge Star Wars fan. But besides that, other influences for the show include the Peanuts, as well as the music of KRS-One and Public Enemy. At a certain point during the show's production, Magruder publicly disengaged from politics, preferring to let all of his political statements happen through his art. In attempting to be something of
Smart.
a spokesperson for the people, Magruder noted that by doing so, well, he'd probably end up dead early on in his life. So Huey was created as a sort of spokesperson for the people
Yeah.
instead, since
Yeah.
as a 10-year-old and not real person, he couldn't be assassinated. While working on the Boondocks, Magruder only watched 3 shows airing on TV at the time: The Office, The Daily Show, and The Colbert Report. The comic's complexity was
Okay.
beginning to drop in its
Alright.
final days while the
Odd.
Boondocks TV show took Magruder's attention. Oftentimes, a strip would just depict one of the principal characters watching TV, with a couple jokes written into whatever was broadcasting on the television. In order to stay grounded and focused during the development of the Boondocks series, Magruder trained with Rashawn Khan, who was also the personal trainer to
Richard
Richard
Pryor.
Pryor and Eddie Murphy. Magruder was an advocate for his own work from the beginning. When the comic was first printed in the University of Maryland's campus newspaper, he persuaded the editor to pay him more than double the rate that other cartoonists were getting. Fat Albert was the last animated show before the Boondocks to feature a majority black cast, and it finished airing over 20 years before the Boondocks.
Wow, good for Aaron. You know, he
Yeah.
hustled his butt off for that.
He did.
That comic.
Premiered. Fans who wanted to watch season 3 episodes uncensored could download those versions on iTunes about half a day after they premiered on Adult Swim. The uncensored versions of the episodes still include a certain level of censorship, like a bleeped F word in the episode The Fried Chicken Flu. The night of the
Oh,
season
yeah.
the episode was
Fried
so
chicken
popular on the
flu.
internet that 5 of the 10 topics trending worldwide on Twitter were related to the episode. Magruder's exit from the show
Wow.
before season 4 was already hinted at before his departure was announced, as he publicly noted that the Boondocks Facebook page began posting season 4 updates without his consent. Executives at Sony spoke negatively of Magruder, saying he wrote slow in a couple different ways. Well, apparently he wrote well too, given season 4's
Clearly.
performance.
Yeah.
However, the premiere did great. The season 4 premiere set a record rating for the night, beating out The Voice and even that night's NBA playoffs. Season 4
What?
had many fan
That's
favorite
nuts.
characters, including Thugnificent, Cindy, Gangsta and a pimp named Slickback. When Magruder left the
Cindy.
show during season
Slickback.
4, he accompanied it with a letter claiming he was putting a life of controversy behind him by creating the conceptually controversial show
yes.
Black Jesus. So maybe he
on
meant
our
this
board.
ironically? Magruder
Yeah.
writing about a Black Jesus actually has its roots in the Boondocks. Black Jesus is part of the name of Huey's play in the season 1 episode A Huey Freeman Christmas. In 2012, Regina King hinted at a rough draft of a script for a Boondocks movie on Sway in the Morning. Given that these days everything seems to come back in one form or another, maybe that's not too outrageous of a
Circle
thing
back.
to
Right.
still hope for. Once again, my name's
Wow.
That was good. I
That-
learned a lot.
Yeah, I did learn a lot, especially mostly from our viewers,
Well, obviously
from
from
those
you guys.
interactions. But I can't believe that this show didn't get a mature rating until season 4.
Yeah, that's kind of weird because the first friggin'
Oh
season
my gosh.
is so uncomfortable. Like, how can you show that to...
Well, it's uncomfortable for us, I'm
Well,
sure.
no, I'm not just saying that. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, I don't know how they. I wonder if there was a rating or what the rating was.
I wonder what
before.
time it was aired.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know when it was actually, like, aired, like, time-wise.
10 or after, because I remember. I think after midnight, South Park could go uncensored.
Yeah?
Yeah, I believe Comedy Central.
Let us know,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah, let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. Give it a like rating for sure. And like I said earlier, join us over at the SillieVerse, where we got all kinds of fun stuff over there. Check us out, and we will see you guys there. And until next time, well, goodbye.
Bye.